In Wade's world of slalom, things seem to be a little different, a little more simplistic and easy to understand. Wade thinks slalom is easily dissected and should be easy to understand and therefore easy to execute. Wade makes good use of reason and logic in his approach to teaching and skiing slalom. He knows that if his students listen to him and watch his technique while adding their own rhythm and feel for the slalom course, they'll have a good grasp of the newest and most successful slalom technique for the 90s and beyond.
Just how we can be under the Bodhi tree. I've got as good a shot as anyone out here. I'm on a brand new ski. It's my design, it's my shape, and I've been on it only a few days, but it's working. It likes me. Oh yeah, I'll kiss my ski over this one. This is the new top, but I was skiing on a prototype out there today, and I only skied.
The CDX-1 was designed by Wade and the HO design team of Herb O'Brien, Chet Raley, Mike Ferraro, and Eddie Roberts specifically to complement this new and extremely efficient style of slalom skiing. Whether running 39.5 off or free skiing, Wade uses the same approach to create a levered position that places you on the sweet spot of the ski. This allows pure acceleration. Now it's just a matter of putting this to work to create a rhythm. Wade loves to take his ski out on the lake and go free skiing. He thinks this is the purest form of water skiing. Don't we all dream of taking a run on a beautiful sunny day with a little ripple on the water and ripping off a bunch of killer turns one after another? Well, this is Wade's idea of a perfect world. Wade breaks his system down into 4 sequential parts. 1, establish a stance for balanced leverage. 2, point and get moving. 3, free skiing. 4, turn and burn.
First thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to learn how to stand on our ski properly. Same as in golf. When you walk up to the tee, you're told to address the ball properly, have your weight balance. Well, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to drop our weight back, and we're going to allow our elbows to come down to our vest, and we're going to have more weight on the back of our ski. And by doing so, the tip of our ski is going to be a little higher out of the water than maybe you're used to. But all these things are good because this position is the position that's going to take us to acceleration and allow us to maintain our acceleration. After we've got our stance on the ski, the next thing we're going to do is a little thing that it's called pointing. All we're going to do, it's as simple as this. We're going to turn and point our ski in the direction we want to go. So with our stance being like this, now our tip's higher out of the water, so we're creating less drag on the ski. Once again, if we stand right up over the ski, we have a lot of the front of the ski in the water, and we've already shown how our elbows aren't in. So with the proper stance, now with our ankles and with our hips, we can just rotate and we can turn and point the ski in the direction we want to go.
Now that we have the proper stance on the ski, we're going to start walking first because we'll run later. Standing outside the left wake, we're going to practice a move Wade calls pointing. not to be confused with pointing and laughing. This move is great for free skiing, and it's also the first move in our gate setup for the slalom course.
Hi, Mom.
Watch how little upper body movement is used. The lower body is used to get the ski moving to the left. Now the ski is moving away from the wake without changing the stance. Notice how easily Wade creates great leverage with very little effort. This is the first cut, and a lot of speed has already been established. Repeat this pointing move a few times and make a rhythm out of it. After you can point and start moving aggressively away from the wake, half the battle is already won. This position and point concept allows you to accelerate on the sweet spot of the ski, and in Wade's world, acceleration is where it's at. Acceleration allows the skier to arc. We use the ski, the rope, the boat, and our position to accelerate. This acceleration dictates the turn that we will make. Now that Wade has explained how the position and pointing get you moving, we're ready to put these to work.
But for those of you at home that only ski in a slalom course, I think there's a real lesson to be learned in going out and doing some free skiing. As you can see here in the video, I'm out doing some free skiing. I'm going nice and hard. I can go as aggressive as I want. But the cool thing about being out in the open water is that you're just free to do. You can turn whenever you want. You can go whenever you want. You're not hindered by these buoys and restricted by things. And I think it's a great way to go out and get in shape in the beginning of the year. I do it in the spring, and I have the people around me do it in the spring, and there's nothing more that helps our skiing than just going out without a slalom course and just doing it all day, just making 10, 15, 20 turns in a row instead of just going out running 6 buoys and maybe not running them very good because you're out of shape.
Wade likes to attack on this setup lean. Whether free skiing or in the course, this first lean remains the same. Watch how much glide is created from so little effort. At this point, the skier could let go of the handle and for 100 feet or so, stay up with the boat. During this glide, you'll turn the ski back to the right toward the wake. Use your feet, knees, and hips to do this. The arms remain straight, and the shoulders simply rotate with the rest. Because we're turning while we're gliding, we use our own speed to turn. We accelerate up, glide, then turn in as we're decelerating back. In a nutshell, we want to dictate when we make this first turn. If we decelerate too long, the boat will move away from us, pulling the handle from our body, and dictate that we will not turn very well. Because we're turning back to the wake using our own speed, we simply ski back into our power position. Now we have a levered position with angle, and we have controlled speed. The more aggressive your first move becomes, the easier the turns will come. Notice how the position and point set up the flow for the rhythm. The first lean sets up the glide sets up the turn, the first turn sets up the second lean back to the right. You should be able to make 18 to 24 turns without losing your rhythm. Wade keeps his weight back, knees soft, and watch how his back arm remains straight and is always snug against his body. Wade loves to watch the NASCAR boys push it to the limit. He loves doing this himself. That's why he calls this last part turn and burn. He loves the adrenaline rush from the speed. Wade feels that there are many similarities between winning a slalom tournament and winning a car race. The driver who can go the fastest with the most control wins. Same thing with slalom.
Fired up, pumped up. Wade Cox.
The faster you go, the earlier you get to the next buoy, which gives you more time to turn. Before we go any further, Wade's going to talk more about power positioning.
I'm going to explain to you now the difference between a power position in acceleration and a weak position in acceleration. We've talked about our stance already on the ski. Watch as I just rotate 90 degrees. Look how my position has hardly changed at all. I can rotate 180 degrees from one side to the other with very little movement at all. Now I'm going to show you a weak position. This is when you have a lot of weight on your front foot. This position in the front, see how my elbows there's a big distance between my elbow and having them sitting on my side. And now watch what happens as I turn 180 degrees and I try to lean. Each time my elbows are getting further away from my body. 180 degrees, and now look at this. So now where is this going to end up at the second wake? I'm going to end up with the boat pulling the handle even further away. But when I go back to my simple little power position with my weight back, look how my elbows just stay tucked in nice and clean. This is strong. This gives you acceleration.
Through this leveraged position on the ski, a load is created. This load is the horsepower of our skiing. Acceleration is created by loading the ski. The more we can load the ski, the more we'll accelerate and the better we'll turn. Our upper body, though leaning away, remains very still with our back arm doing most of the upper body work. This leaves us with our legs to enhance and control the load. If you watch downhill skiing, you'll notice the legs are doing most of the work. A downhill skier loads and then unloads much the same way Wade does. Using our position and point move gets us moving, and during this first turn to go through the gates, we turn our ski and our body rotates back into our power position. Soften the knees to turn the ski all the way back to the wakes and go. The hardest lean or load should take place approximately 10 to 15 feet before the wakes. Once you're in your deepest lean, just simply relax your legs so you can keep your position. This will also help your control, as your legs will now be absorbing any excess speed. Watch how after the hardest load, Wade softens his knees and the ski moves out in front. This is the unloading of the energy. The ski now just arcs and turns back into the wake again. Wade doesn't spend a lot of time discussing reaching, one-handed turns, or the turn itself. In Wade's world, these things are just a product of the load. If you load properly, you will create speed. You'll be moving faster than the boat. Because the handle remains in both hands a long time, an arc is created. This unloading of the energy creates a pendulum type of arc. The skier at this point simply needs to keep the speed they've got and not try to slow down, but to try to ski up very high on the boat. Since we're not trying to slow down, there's no need to start reaching real quick. Notice how when you watch Wade, his reach is quite rhythmic. He keeps two hands on the handle for quite a long time. The most vulnerable position to be in is to be extended with one hand on the handle. By creating good load, your arc is longer, so it's easy to keep two hands on the handle. The one-hand reach simply becomes part of the rhythm of the turn. During this time, though short, the body should remain still. As the tip of the ski initiates the turn, the body should rotate at the same pace through the turn as the ski. Therefore, you're not disrupting the arc that you've already created with your load.
My name is Mike Ferraro, and your name is? Chet Rayleigh. And I've been working with HO R&D now for 11 years, and Chet, you've been there a long time too.
Yeah, I think you got me started in this whole endeavor.
Yeah, you know, it's really exciting this year, you know, with the CDX, Ski Expo last year when Herb came up to us and said, hey guys, you know, how can we make Wade's job easy? And I said, well, let's get Wade in here. We got Wade in there, we got yourself, myself. We got Eddie Roberts in there, we got Herb O'Brien in there, we all sat down and started brainstorming, and we had people in the room. You know, now that you think about it, we have the top slalom skier in the world. You know, we've got the top coaches in the world. We've got the #1 man making skis, Herb O'Brien. Chet, what are some of the things people, before they start moving the bindings around, should look for in their skiing? You know, we've talked about having somebody riding the boat and watch.
Right.
I mean, what do you look for?
Pretty simple. The bindings come at a good stock setting. The factory setting's a nice place to begin, and you probably don't need to do much from there. But if you do, there's a simple indicator. If on both sides the tip of the ski is riding high, more than likely your fins need to go, your binding needs to go a little bit forward. If you come in and your tail's riding a little high and your tip's a little low, then your bindings need to go back. And that's true for both sides. If that's happening equally on both sides of the wake, then more than likely you have a binder problem or you need to make that adjustment.
So coming into your offside turn, what would you do if your tip was riding high?
I would definitely begin by just moving the binders back one hole, making sure that it happens equally on both sides, and then I wouldn't worry about it. If it's specifically on my offside turn, I would start looking at the fin if it was one side on it.
So once you start getting into one side or the other, then you move it back to the ski and start working on the fin.
Correct.
Tip up.
If I want to work on the fin and my tip's coming up, I bring the front of the fin down, and that will bring the front of the ski down. If I'm riding a little bit tip down or stopping, then I bring the tip up, and the front of the ski comes up into the ski.
So pretty simple. If you want to move, if the tip's riding high, you pull the blade down.
Correct.
Tip's riding low, pull the blade up.
Correct. And the same thing's true for turning. So if I'm coming into the turn and my ski's very, very resistant to turn, or it doesn't want to turn when I tell it to turn, I'm probably going to move the fin up into the ski, the back of the fin up into the ski, and if my ski's coming in and overturning, meaning it's slipping a little bit in the turn, feeling like it might blow out on me, I'm going to bring the back of the fin down just a little bit and make it a little more resistant.
Bigger fin, slower turn.
Right.
More resistance. Smaller fin, less resistance and quicker turn.
Right.
More of a wash-up.
And in the box with every one of these, or from the dealer when you get this thing, there's a packet of instructions that come with the fins, and it has all the pertinent information. It tells you how to adjust wings, it tells you how to adjust fins, and it gets a little more detailed. So if you're a person who wants to go experiment a little bit or play with it, you have the tools in front of you to do so.
Fore and aft movement on the fin?
Pretty easy. Fore and aft basically simulates a smaller ski. The farther forward you push the fin, simulates a bigger ski the farther back. So the farther forward, the tighter the radius of the turn. The farther back, the broader the radius of the turn. Pretty simple. Easy.
You know, Chad, it's real exciting to have the CDX ski this year and to be working with HO and to be able to show it to the skiers, the pro skiers, the international skiers. And even, you know, I do have friends. Some of my friends come out and ski sometimes too. But it's a lot of fun, you know, to see the people skiing and to hear what they're saying. And I think, you know, we've really taken slalom skiing to a new level.
I do too. It's nice to have a product that you can stand behind. And I hope that everybody who rides the ski likes it as much as we do.
We hope you've enjoyed your training session with Wade Cox. We filmed this video in April of '98 during the first U.S. Pro Tour, which Wade won, and for the following 3 days at Wade's house and at Okehele Park, both places that were used extensively during the research and development of the CDX. We had a lot of fun putting this tape together and wish you a fun and successful summer on your new CDX-1. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to call 1-800-938-4646.